For years, the story's been pretty simple, right? Everyone is leaving California. But what if that's only like half the picture? Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating counter-narrative that's happening right on the Central Coast. This is the story of the SLO pivot. Okay, so let's just get right into it. Is the Golden State really emptying out? I mean, if you just glance at the headlines, you definitely think so. They paint this super dramatic picture of a mass exodus.
And look, to be fair, there's some data to back that up. The California Policy Lab found that, during the height of the pandemic, net exits from the state actually doubled. So yes, people were leaving the major cities. But that's not where the story ends. In fact, that's where things start getting really interesting. Because while the big cities were losing people, a totally different story was unfolding in places like San Luis Obispo. This number, 11.8%, that's a staggering year-over-year increase in home sales. See, this isn't a statewide exodus, it's a strategic relocation, a really powerful regional rebound.
So what is this? While experts are calling it a pressure release valve, SLO has become this destination for Californians who aren't looking to leave the state, but to escape what you might call urban friction. All the stuff that just makes daily life harder, like insane costs, long commutes, and just constant congestion. It's a pivot to a different kind of California life.
So what's really driving this pivot? Let's get specific and look at the hard numbers. We're going to put San Francisco head-to-head with San Luis Obispo, and the reality check is, well, it's pretty stark.
This slide breaks down the real cost of living in a way I find fascinating. Because in 2026, affordability isn't just about dollars anymore. It's measured in your time and your sanity. San Francisco is nearly 58% more expensive overall. But just look at housing and commute costs. They're both almost 90% higher. It's wild.
Let's just isolate that first number. 57.7% more expensive overall. To put that into perspective, to have the same exact standard of living you have in SLO, you'd need to be making almost $140,000 a year in San Francisco. That's a huge gap.
And then you've got this one, the biggest barrier for so many people. And it's illustrated perfectly here, housing. And 88% higher costs for homeowners isn't just a number on a screen. For a lot of folks, that's the difference between actually achieving the dream of owning a home and being permanently priced out.
But here's the number that I think hits the hardest, 88.8% higher commute costs. And we're not just talking about gas money, this is what the source material calls the sanity tax. It's the cost of sitting in traffic, of time that's literally stolen from your family, your hobbies, your life.
So what this all boils down to is that a move to a place like SLO isn't just a financial decision to get a lower mortgage. It's a strategic choice. It's about reclaiming thousands of hours of your life from the daily grind of city congestion.
Okay, so we totally get the why. The numbers make perfect sense. But what does this new life actually look and feel like on the ground? Let's zoom into some specific neighborhoods to see how this new coastal vibe is really taking shape.
This quote just perfectly captures a trend that might actually surprise you. In a city that's famous for being laid back, there's this growing desire for a more urban, more connected kind of lifestyle.
And that's the Railroad District. You should think of it as a metropolitan microdose. It's perfect for the professional who misses the energy of a dense city neighborhood, but is just completely done with all the friction. We're talking a car-light, walkable lifestyle where you can bike downtown, not sit on a freeway.
But what about affordability? Can you even get in? Well, this chart shows what you could call a hidden gateway. While the median price in SLO County is pushing $1 million, the neighborhood of Japantown has a median list price closer to $575,000. That's a massive, life-changing difference for someone trying to buy a home.
And Japantown isn't just a starter neighborhood, not at all. It's an area with deep historical roots, commemorated today in Ito Park. And for families making the move, it's home to top-rated schools like Hawthorne Elementary. So it's this really powerful combination of value and community. So we've seen the why and the where, but what about the how? This whole pivot isn't just about finding a cheaper house. It reflects a fundamental shift in mindset. We've really entered the era of the intentional lifestyle move.
Local real estate advisors are calling this the lifestyle move. That frantic energy of trying to time the market is just gone. It's been replaced by a focus on long-term life design. The goal isn't just to buy a house. It's to remove all that friction from your daily routine.
And this slide basically shows the blueprint for that process. Sophisticated buyers today are asking these 3 powerful questions before they even start looking at listings. Which spaces are just wasted?
Where does our day feel rushed and chaotic? And the big one, is our home actually supporting the life we want? It completely reframes the whole process.
So the final piece of the puzzle. Who are these people making this intentional move? Well, the data debunks a few common myths, that's for sure.
This data is pretty surprising. It's not just one single group from the Bay Area overrunning the place. Instead, what you see is a targeted influx from other high-cost or high-friction parts of California: Orange County, Santa Clarita, and even Kern County.
That move from Kern County is particularly interesting. It's often what's called a lifestyle cooling move. I mean, people are literally escaping 100-degree summers looking for a climate refuge on the coast. It's a powerful reminder that quality of life also includes the actual climate you live in every single day.
And this might be the most powerful story of all, the alumni narrative. See, these aren't strangers. These are people who went to Cal Poly, spent maybe 15 years building amazing careers in tech hubs like the Bay Area, and are now making a very intentional choice to come back and raise their own families right where it all started.
Ultimately, what really defines the move to San Luis Obispo today is the long game. It's a calculated pivot away from the friction of metropolitan life towards a more intentional existence. It's not just about finding a different house. It's about designing a different life.
And that leaves us with a pretty big question to think about for ourselves. Forget the market, forget the headlines for a second. Just ask yourself this: is your home, right now, truly supporting the life you want to lead? The answer? Well, it might be more important than you think.